Hi, Joseph.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I can't see you.
Okay, hold on a minute.
All right. There we
There.
go. Oh, I love the hat. I
Th-
love the hat.
Thank you. It's my mother's.
Okay. I have your book. And I read
Ah,
it. I read it and I enjoyed it very much.
oh, I'm glad. I'm
And
glad.
hippos are my favorite animal.
They are a wonderful, wonderful animal, but they actually are very dangerous. They're,
Oh, they are.
yeah, they're one of the top. I think they're second to the Cape buffalo as the most dangerous animal.
Uh the Cincinnati Zoo has a famous hippo who has his own Facebook account. It's called Fiona the Hippo. And
Yeah,
where everybody comes and visits her. It's just
yeah,
unbelievable because I follow it too. It's like it's just unbelievable. Everybody comes from all over the world and all over the United States, go to Cincinnati and go to the zoo to see her.
yeah, yeah. I've
You
read
know,
about it. Yeah, she's amazing. That's great. Great for the zoo too.
yes, and hippos are my favorite animal besides birds. I love birds. I'm a bird watcher, so yeah. So
Oh yeah. Oh,
uh-huh.
that's wonderful. I'd like to learn more about birds. I see a lot of them, but don't always understand their behavior. So it's great. How are you doing with the storms and all?
Oh, my house, we did. I live in Bayonne. We had more rain in one day than in a whole month.
Oh
We had
my
12 inches.
oh my goodness.
There were a lot of parts of Bayonne in Jersey. They were underwater. People had to flush out the basements, and Jersey and Hoboken were under a boil water advisory until this past Saturday. But otherwise, my house did. We go down the hill, so all the water was running into the Kennedy Boulevard into the street. So we did well. I mean, we had a lot of rain, but otherwise we did fine. Unfortunately, other people didn't do so hot.
Yeah.
And there's parts of New Jersey that are still underwater, and we're still under, and a lot of rivers are under a flood watch. Oh, I love that. Of hippo. Now, tell you the truth, I social media list this. I send it out to people. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of people today, but this is being recorded, so
That's okay.
I will send it off to our virtual program people, and they can put it on YouTube or Facebook, and I can send you the recording as well, and you can share it with your friends and family.
Yep, yep. No, that's
Oh,
fine.
you got a lot of hippos. Wow.
Well, there's Rosie and she is right there to the left
Mm-hmm.
in the pink. And
Mm-hmm.
that's Hornsby, the rhinoceros right behind me. And yeah, I mean, we can certainly read to the kids, and even though we don't see them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
certainly read to them, and they can always post questions, and I can do my best to answer them. But
Yes, and I always have questions too.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, Rosie's got a lot of answers for kids and adults. She's pretty wise, that hippo.
I will, when we begin, I will give an introduction of you, and then you can start reading your book. And once you're finished, and if anybody has any questions, like myself,
Hmm.
well, 5 minute, 10-minute questions. Question: I don't remember. Were we paying you, or was this for free?
We did agree on a 150 fee to cover some
Okay.
things, but
So when you're done, could you, when you get a chance this past week, can you send me your W-9 and an invoice so I can send it out to our
yeah,
people so you can be paid? Okay.
sure, I can do that. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. I think when we start reading, I'll just kind of I'll read the story, but probably since there are not kids present, I'll ask questions to the audience, like if they
Mhm.
want to know, and not so much
Mhm.
to an individual kid, an individual child, obviously. Um, because there's a lot of questions Rosie asked herself, but there's also a lot of questions she would ask of the readers.
Mm.
So
And okay. I think one of the questions for me was why hippos? You can
because
always ask. You can answer that question at the end at
yeah,
the end of this, during the course.
okay. Why
Okay.
hippo?
Yeah. Why hippos? Why did you choose the hippo? I mean,
Okay, well, I have a pretty solid answer for that one.
very good. Okay. Okay. Uh, I'll give it one more minute. See anybody comes on. But
Mhm.
I think pretty much the Jersey public school system starts either started school today or tomorrow. But I think everybody's like out and about
Probably.
and now. So hopefully, probably, I don't think we're gonna get anybody, but we're gonna wait one more minute and uh, okay, let's start. Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Donnelly. I am the Adult Services Librarian for the Jersey City Free Public Library, and my guest today is Helen C. Hipp. Um, and Helen Hipp has her own kind of safari through the land of a large family. She was always exploring the new ways to define herself. There are many ways to navigate the waters of life, says Helen. You may ride in a canoe, a sailboat, a motorboat, or you may find yourself in the back of a pink ship. With the mindset that's centered on creating opportunities out of obstacles, Helen explored career opportunities by connecting her personal experience, parenting a child with special needs, with her beliefs, professional skills, and aspirations. Helen received her MA in counseling and began her career as a psychotherapist to help people find answers for their life problems. Her work eventually into coaching practice within you life coaching, focusing on individuals with special needs and her family. Helen has authored articles for Family Works and Washington Family Magazine and written multiple self-help articles published by ezine.com, where she viewed as an expert in her field. She as a contributor as a special needs consultant to Fox 44 News in Burlington, Vermont. Good afternoon, Helen. How are you?
Good afternoon. Uh, how are you?
I'm well.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. I hope everybody out there as well is doing well also. Today I'm here to read you a story that I hope you'll enjoy. It's entitled Rosie and Friends, Positively Different. It's a story about a hippo who was very, very different from the other hippos in her pod. A pod is a group of hippos, and most are gray. If you've ever come across a hippo, most hippos are gray, but this one was not. And this is her story and how it's all about how she dealt with being different. So here we go. I hope you enjoy it. An explorer of sorts, Rosie, the pink hippo, often wonders what it would be like if she had been born a gray hippo and looked like all the other hippos in her pod. What if there was only one way of doing things? Would every hippo be doing the same thing the same way? Thought Rosie. What if I could no longer see or experience differences? How would I learn? Well, I wonder about that too. How would I learn if we all did the same things the same way? I wonder how many of you children that are going to school right now think about that. Let's see what you'll learn. And let's see what Rosie learned. Rosie thought about this and she could not imagine wanting to live in a world like that. And there she is. Let's see what else she learned. Never the same or boring, Rosie sees her life as positively different, because being different gives Rosie a good reason to celebrate her differences, a good reason to enjoy being herself. And she's always learning and always exploring. But just as she had heard her thoughts, a monkey, swinging from the branches above, overheard her and asked, "Why is it you're celebrating your differences, and why is it important?" Well, Rosie didn't realize she had been talking out loud. And she didn't realize how many different animals were listening to her. Well, many had gathered around: an elephant with small ears, a lazy lion, and a miniature giraffe, an ostrich, and a restless rhino all walked over and joined the crowd. And there they are: the elephant with small ears, the miniature giraffe, the lazy lion. Oh, where is he? I don't see him. Hold on. Oh, here he is. All joined in. They wanted to know, why is celebrating differences so important? Well, Rosie thought about that and said, celebrating differences is important because differences encourage all of us to explore new places, people, and things. They play a part in making this world an interesting and more colorful place. Well, the elephant asked, don't you have to be important, win a medal, or have a birthday to celebrate and to be celebrated? No, says Rosie. Well, then what do you need? Well, you need to enjoy and celebrate yourself, because it's more than about an event, says Rosie. It's about accepting your strengths, your uniqueness, and your weaknesses. What is important is when you're planning to celebrate, that you share what you feel good about. So if you feel happy on the inside, it is celebrated on the outside, asked the elephant. And this is what he was thinking about. If you feel good inside, then you show that on the outside. But the rhino was thinking about something a little different. He said, is it kind of like turning yourself inside out? And this is what he was thinking about. Kind of like taking off your t-shirt. Pointing out that they each see things differently, Rosie answered yes to both the elephant and the rhino. They were both right. They just saw things differently. And as she listened to her new friends, she was reminded of some old friends, Eliza, Ray, and TLC. TLC, also known as the tender-loving crocodile, also saw things differently. And just as she was thinking about them, Rosie's friend Eliza, who is a zebra, popped out from behind a tree, surprising all who did not see her. But Eliza did not want to scare her new friends, and she did not want her friends to be scared of her. So she teases them by disappearing in and out, and saying, now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. Until an ostrich interrupted her game with a question. And she asked, Eliza, when you are noticed and seen as different, how do you get others to see you the way you see yourself? Well, I think that's a good question. Don't you?
Hmm.
I wonder what the answer is. Well, Eliza, who's very wise, said, how others see you depends on how you see yourself. So I guess that means if you feel good about yourself and you think you're a good person, then others will see you that way. I don't know, Joseph. Do you think that's what she's saying? I think so too.
Me too.
Let's see. Eliza says that while she's looking into a puddle of water, but the ostrich is still waiting for an explanation. So I don't think she understands quite yet, Joseph. She needs some help.
Mm.
So her friend, who realizes that Eliza is taking too long to answer the question, helps. And his name is Ray. And he says, ostrich, we are all similar in some ways, but different in others. And awareness and courage are needed to recognize your own uniqueness and capabilities. Ah, so you don't worry about being modest. How do you really see yourself? Ray asks. The ostrich stops and says, I think I do not know. The ostrich says, I need a while to think. Take all the time you need, TLC says gently, because he's the tender, loving crocodile. And then something clicked. Look at the ostrich. She no longer feels nervous. Her friends have helped her realize that she can choose to see herself differently. She had only needed to give herself permission to be herself, and uniquely different from any other type of bird. Wow, that's kind of cool. Being yourself, being different. Olivia the ostrich now sees herself as an exotic bird that is positively different. So that's what Eliza was saying, that if you see yourself and be yourself and like yourself, then others can see that too. That's cool.
Yes, it is.
That's very cool. Wow. What about you, Rosie? How do you see yourself? Olivia asked. And when do you get to celebrate yourself? Asked the elephant. Positively different is how I see myself. And when do I celebrate myself? Why not right now, Rosie says, breaking into her celebration song. And now I will sing you the song, but understand, I do not have the voice of a chirpy bird, so I will do my best for you. Here we go. Celebrating my differences is what my song is all about. So sing along and let your happiness out. My differences. Instead of following the beat of the drums like some, I like my differences. Unknown and strange in my jacket of pink, such an oddity is wonderful, don't you think, for a hippo so pretty to also be pink? Should it matter what other gray hippos may think when I like my differences? And that is Rosie's song. And that is Rosie's message, along with the message that her friends also shared with you today. Olivia, Ray, Elephant, all of them. Be yourself, share yourself, and be proud of who you are, because all of us are different in some way, and our differences are important to share with others, and they are important to be proud of. So
Absolutely.
positively different. We all are. So that is Rosie's message. I hope you enjoyed her story.
Yes, I did. My question is, I don't see anybody asking any questions or anybody here. My question is, what, because you're a specialist in learning differences and learning disabilities, is this like reason why you wrote the book because of the differences? Like myself, I was diagnosed with learning disability and I was different from everybody else. I learned it was hard. I mean, it took me quite a while to understand math until, like, with the ostrich, the light bulb came on, and my parents like, he finally gets it. He finally gets it, and it's like, learning different and getting it like that until you finally figuring out you finally understand how to do it. So that I think differences are great. I think people who are different is like we can't all be all the same. Everybody has a different character. Everybody has uniquenesses and other things like that. Do you agree?
I think that differences are a wonderful thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think that they're important to celebrate for yourself in each
Mm-hmm.
other. And I think that my experiences as a parent of an adult with special needs um, has a lot to do with what led me to write the books,
Mm-hmm.
but it was also the meeting of Rosie the hippo, which my son spotted in Africa. She is a real live pink hippo that he named Rosie. And so that experience and they're coming together and both having the uh, day-to-day experiences of facing um, the challenges of not being accepted for who they are, um, and just kind of coming together the way they did and sharing that bond um, was amazing to kind of see, even though obviously Raymond didn't run into the river with a bunch of wild hippos, but you could just see the connection, just him spotting her instantaneously naming her, and there was just something special that happened that day. And I just saw it, and it just seemed like such a gift that needed to be shared. So, hence,
Did you
but
go too?
yes,
Were you,
yes,
were you
please,
in Africa too for the safari?
yes, yeah,
That's
yes,
great.
yes. That was a gift, and now it's a gift that can keep on giving through Rosie's story and her connection with my son.
Mm.
So it's been a fun journey so far.
Oh,
And
so that's the reason why you chose hippos, because your son saw something different in this hippo from all the other hippos,
yeah,
and that's wonderful.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
it was a great day and a great experience. So seeing their connection and sharing that seemed to make a lot of sense. Seemed to make a lot of sense. We did a play on this book at your library a couple years ago, and that was wonderful to see the kids on stage taking the story and expressing it in their own way, and that was incredibly um, meaningful to me to watch them just enjoy sharing that in their own artistic, creative way. It was great.
Well, when we fully reopen to capacity, maybe I will definitely invite you come back to come to the library, and we'll probably and do another play of this.
Oh, that would be great. I still have a lot of the photos and
Mm.
videos of that play. We had a wonderful, wonderful cast and audience. It was great, great fun. That was a ball. That was a ball. That was a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for sharing your wonderful story. I got it. I enjoyed it, and it was something different, something unique. It's like everybody always chooses the elephant or the lion, the king of the beast. But I think the elephant's more the king of the beast. I mean, I think the hippo is more the king of the beast because they're huge. They're scary. And if you ever watch the old safari movies or like Tarzan movies, it's the hippopotamus that usually comes jumping out and crushing the boats and things like that. It's not the alligators, it's the hippos.
Yeah, well, there she is, right
Mhm.
there with her great
Yeah.
big purple eyes.
Well, yeah. Thank you for this afternoon delight, and I will back to you in the future for another program, maybe an indoor program when we're finally reopened full capacity.
Yeah.
And I will talk to you later, and I'll send you an email about a few things. Okay.
Okay, Joseph, you take
And
care.
you too. And I enjoyed this very much.
Me too. All right. Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
All right. Bye-bye.